All right, so say that car name 5 times fast.
No!
No, come on.
Pininfarina. Pininfarina Batista. Pininfarina, but like, how do you say it 5 times fast though? Pininfarina Batista, Pininfarina Batista, Pininfrick. Pininfarina is. I wonder if that's even how I technically pronounce it. That's how I think it was pronounced. Pininfarina Batista, Pininfarina Batista, Pininfarina Batista, Pininfarina Batista.
See, if you would have gotten 5 of those in a row, you would have gotten the car delivered right to your driveway. You know, it's
Who's
like
paying for that.
You know, it's like the old Bloody Mary thing. You know, you say Bloody Mary in the mirror 3 times.
3 times and it shows up.
And she shows up. Well, you say the car name correctly 5 times fast in a row, and it just shows up right in the middle of your driveway. Congratulations.
Dude, I'm
you have
that.
lost the chance to get your car of, I don't know, of one of your dreams, maybe of a mild fantasy. I don't know what it is.
I came across on the video and I was like, wow, that thing is madness.
Well,
it's got 1900 horsepower.
Okay, Southern boy. Your neck is a little red there. 1900 horsepower. Okay, so
it's bad.
You know, crazy things are happening all around regarding that, including California's laws on electricity and Newsom wearing a sweater in the middle of the heat wave. So I guess we'll talk about that in a little bit more. This was recorded on 9/11/2022. Welcome to Use Your Words podcast, where we believe in intelligently spoken conversations. So you know, and I will admit, like I said, I can talk, or not, yeah, or not. Oh boy, I tell you what, when Tesla first came out, I was kind of excited because I was like, okay, that'd be cool to have an electric vehicle, right?
Yeah.
But as we keep going on and seeing these things, I go, you know what? No, we've gone a little bit on the crazy side. Look at what's happening over in California. California is now saying all cars must be zero emissions, aka electric, aka not gas powered, by 2035, which is only
wow. I mean,
12 and a half years away.
Yeah, that's a while.
But they want to do this all with solar and wind. And
yeah,
I'm fine with doing solar and wind. You can do as much as you want with solar and wind. But we're not going to, unfortunately, at this current point in time, with our gas guzzling cars on the road.
Yeah.
If we went to just solar and wind right now, we would not be able to do it.
No, not right now.
So can you imagine California? And I think like New York is another state that's looking at adopting the same laws as well and saying, hey, guess what? You can only get cars that are zero emission, aka gas, by 2035. That's all cars, pickups, SUVs to be electric or hydrogen powered by 2035.
So they are still doing hydrogen, looking into hydrogen powered.
Yeah, they
stuff.
are. They're gonna look into all sorts of things, but primarily, you know, it's gonna be probably, you know, Tesla and the ilk that are out there.
Which I thought. Now, granted, it was only a quick 2-minute search, which ended up just me going to Tesla's website.
Okay.
They've been working in some IT company for a few years, and then he ended up buying a Tesla. I was told it was brand new, but when I looked at Tesla's website, the cheapest brand new model I saw was for $78,000.
Okay.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I thought they had more entry level cars.
Teslas are not
cheap
by any sense of the word.
The Model 3, I think, was starting at 78,000.
Yeah, but knowing you probably picked the top of the line Model 3, because there's different models within the Model 3.
There is, yeah.
So
okay,
they start at
cheapest?
They start at 40,000.
Oh, I was right on that then.
For a rear wheel drive.
Oh, what the heck? Well, then why do they start with showing me that one on the website? $78,000.
So you probably picked something else.
Okay, I'd went to existing inventory. It says it shows a 2022 Model 3 for $79,000.
So what that means is that one's already decked out a certain way
Yeah.
and you can't change anything. Whereas if you go to their main
Okay, so
site,
that's good to know that they have I was like, I could have swore they had more affordable pricing.
yeah, well, okay. And then you
That's
have to get
all,
a
though.
charging station put in.
Yeah,
And then you have to and all their maintenance, they come to you, so you don't go to like a dealership to do it.
which I guess that's nice, but probably also cost a lot.
And then you can also get insurance from them if you want. Your vehicle
From
insurance.
Tesla?
Yeah, they offer vehicle insurance as well.
How expensive is that?
I don't know, it's based on your driving.
Well, I have great
Because remember, you're in a Tesla, right?
yeah,
They're a software company that sells
that's
cars.
that's big bogus.
They have all of your driving data,
Yeah, that's
your
bogus. That's
accelerations, your
bogus. And of course, they have a car where it can do well. And granted, it's not all of them, but I mean, it's electric car. It's kind of fast. It has a good pickup.
that is the one I guess you could say positive thing about electric cars going forward is
Oh,
the
they
the
move.
acceleration and the speed and the maintenance of that speed is
Yeah.
gonna be great because you don't have all this, I guess you could say, legacy equipment of gears and pulleys, essentially, the belts, going on in your car, which for someone
Well,
like that's a car person, they're probably really sad because they can't go in and
mm,
adjust the motor or anything like this.
I mean, they're gonna. Oh, what was it? I mean, for how I mean, computery everything is. I mean, people are gonna figure out how to change things up. I mean, they already do now
And
with
and then
making adjustments to the computers and
and then
all
Tesla
that.
will be like, "Nope, you can't make adjustments to our software." Naughty, naughty, naughty. If you ever seen Jurassic
What if I
Park?
do it better?
Have you ever seen Jurassic Park?
I have, but I'm trying to think of what.
The guy who steals like the vial, like all the secrets, essentially, like the DNA and all that.
Mhm.
I can't remember his
Which
name.
what is it the
The
first
very
one? The
first
very
Jurassic,
first one.
very first Jurassic Park, very very first one, and he leaves the computers infected with something, and people are trying to guess his password, and then pops up a little like avatar of him going naughty, naughty, naughty.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking
That's
about
what
now.
Tesla will do, except it'll be Elon going no,
No.
no, 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 no. Come follow me on Twitter. No, 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 no.
I,
Just because it's Elon.
I I don't know. Well, I guess is that would they do that if they went through them for insurance?
No, no,
Maybe.
that's probably just like in the manual, just in general, like because you're buying their software, just like Windows. You buy a copy of Windows, right? But you
Mhm.
read through the license agreement, and you actually don't own that copy of Windows. You just
Mm,
own the right to use it.
to use it, yeah.
I bet you it's the same thing with Tesla. It's like you own the right to use Tesla
Ah,
software and car.
people will find their ways to mess around with it
It's entertaining. People never read the EULAs of software. It's ridiculous. Someone was going over, it was Joe Rogan
for
actually,
too
who
long.
Joe Rogan was going over the EULA of like TikTok recently because he
Mhm.
was considering getting on it. But then he was reading through it and he's like, "Oh, we can collect all your keyboard tapping motion on your phone."
What?
So they can get, and so by agreeing to their EULA, they get access to like all the like the motion of your phone and the typing and everything, and you can reverse engineer what you're typing anywhere on the phone if it's able to collect that data. It's ridiculous.
What? That's kinda terrifying.
Yeah, and there's other things in that you'll like, "Oh, we can access your files so that way we can start building a profile on you and identify you based on whatever device you're on by the files and all this other metadata about you that's not necessarily tied, directly like a picture of you, but like what's on your phone, where's your phone located at,
That
what's your carrier, what are you typing on your phone, how are you using your phone, etc." So,
that's
so
creepy.
that's why I say people never read EULAs because there's all this stuff in there, and pull up Tesla's EULA, I'm sure it's just as bad. That's one of the things that people don't realize when you're going to electric cars, like, okay, even my car, right?
Mhm.
My car has a lot of software in it still,
Yeah.
in mine's a hybrid, where technically, if Toyota wanted to kill it remotely, they could. I would actually have to
Well, I mean, you could do that with pretty much almost any new car now.
nowadays, uh,
Yeah.
but but if I would've gotten the model lower, not in the model, sorry, the entertainment system lower than the one I have, that functionality wouldn't exist.
Really?
It's all based on the entertainment system inside the car.
What?
The more advanced, the more features you get, the more that other people can get into your car, which is always a little scary. I'm like, 'cause it takes would be a signal. It's because it's connected by satellite. So someone just
Mhm.
figure out that satellite stuff and bye-bye car. You no longer start it for me anymore.
Could they like oh man, what the heck?
Yeah,
S
but as we're moving forward with our software-based economy in this regard, will be essentially software-based cars too, because all your electric cars are gonna have to be these fine controlled computers essentially running your vehicle.
Which is I mean, it's yeah. I mean, computers pretty much run the cars now.
Yeah, for the most part, but there's at least still, when you get down to it, in your actual physical engine, there's actually still physical moving
Well,
parts.
there's still that, but
Here, you're gonna have brushless motors moving everything.
mm.
But
And then we're gonna get into self-driving cars, which that's already been wanting to get to, and, that's gonna be a nightmare.
Tesla already has
They
that,
have it, but it's
depending on
like,
how it works. It doesn't always work the best, but yeah.
that's so frightening.
Hey,
That's weird, I don't
that's
like
the
it.
one part that I look forward to is if I have to drive somewhere, I can take a nap.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But regardless of all that, regardless of how much I like the idea of electric cars, I think those should be optional, not mandated, forced on the populace, let's say.
Right.
Unless we force it on motorcycle riders, then I'm all for it.
Oh, I'm about to repeat what I said earlier today when he first got here. Better
Oh,
go grab that umbrella real quick.
oh yeah. What did you say to me when I first got
So, I
here?
don't remember.
Uh huh. Sure you don't. You called me Mary Poppins.
Get out of here. Fly away or whatever it was.
Yep.
No, but no. Although, I mean, I've seen a lot of electric motorcycles, and those are probably pretty wicked.
Yeah, but the size of that motorcycle, where are you gonna fit the battery to be able to go long ranges?
Oh, well, yeah, long range, yeah. No, I don't know. Which I wonder how big some of those guys are. But
You get a 30-mile range on, no, I don't know what the
oh
range
gosh,
is.
that'd be terrible. It
It's
would
just enough to take
probably.
you around the block and back.
Thought it was roughly like almost almost a 200-mile range for like the Harleys that I've had per tank, and
Okay.
that's about a 5-gallon tank.
So the Harley Livewire one,
Yeah. Oh gosh.
okay,
Yeah.
combined usage of city and highway, 95 miles,
That's not far.
146 city, because of stop and go,
Yeah. That's not far. Uh,
and that's a 40-minute charge time then.
not worth it. Gross.
All that
Gee,
for $23,000.
for how much?
23.
Hmm.
Why are you going, now all of a sudden it's tempting?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
So you're aware the California law by 2035, zero emission vehicles,
Dumb.
except for motorcycles isn't on the list right now.
Good.
Expect that to change though, probably.
Yeah, probably.
So your truck, if you lived in California, were to go buy a new truck.
So what happens to people that wanna go visit California? Can they
Well,
not drive in California?
obviously you can still drive in there. Essentially what it is
Ooh, residents.
the existing vehicles are out there on the road.
Uh-huh.
You can maintain them. You just can't buy new ones of them.
Okay. That's see, that's not I don't know, like, that doesn't seem all that bad, but that is, at the same time, still kinda ridiculous. ridiculous at the same time.
So
I think.
why is it ridiculous?
Well, I mean, I guess I feel like that would be so limiting on your dealerships. I mean, honestly, I'm sure it's gonna be. I mean, if that's all people are gonna be able to get, they'll be
Well,
selling plenty of them.
this is how limiting it is, and I'm putting limiting in quotes here.
Mhm.
Ford says that 40% of its global sales will be electric vehicles by 2030.
So almost
40%.
half.
It currently has 200,000 buyers on the waiting list for its electric F-150.
Yeah. That thing, but that's only 200,000.
Yep. But
There's so many people
that's on
in
the waiting list. That's not people that bought. That's people who
are
are
on the
waiting
waiting.
f
Oh, well, how many did they sell before that then? If they
I don't
haven't.
have that right in
Oh.
front of me, okay? GM plans to phase out its internal combustion engines by 2035
Mm.
and just announced a 30,000 all-electric SUV.
So the big boys are gonna be, I mean, right on the bandwagon, which I guess, of course, why wouldn't they be?
Yeah, that is true because they're kinda seeing kind of where that wind is going, but,
Mhm.
in California, right now, as of this point, 9/11, uh, they are in the midst of, like, just a crazy heat wave. They were announcing videos to pre-cool your house, like, at night, like, overnight and in the early morning,
Okay.
and then move your thermostat up to 78 degrees afterwards,
Hmm.
and avoid using appliances starting at 4 p.m.
Wow.
They also got messages of, "Hey, don't charge your electric vehicles."
Yeah, you can't go nowhere.
So I'm
You're
like,
stuck. Dude, this yeah, I guess if stuff like that happens, this whole electric vehicle stuff is kinda pointless.
back to your question about the F-150.
Mhm.
Since release, I think they only released in May. So
I
that
say it's that I didn't even realize they were already out yet. I
yeah,
knew it'd been
they only came out in May.
okay, so it's yeah, that's new.
And this is sales totals as of end of July. So they haven't released the August sales totals yet. Doesn't seem like a lot of units. 4,469 units, and they have 200,000 on wait list.
Yeah, that's not much.
Yeah, but they're basically they're
Yeah,
selling them before they're even
then
made.
they're gonna turn out to be a piece of crap because 'cause they're just gonna you know, get them out as quick as they can, and then it's just gonna be a piece of junk, and then how unfortunate would that be? Just kidding, that's most of Ford's anyways, and I own one.
Well, according to Kelley Blue Book, right?
Yeah,
It currently has the lowest starting price of any electric vehicle pickup on the market. And it's also the highest in demand.
yeah. Good old F-150.
Well, the electric F-150, not just
Yeah,
the standard
yeah,
F-150, just
I
the
know, but
electric version of the F-150.
there's always a thing that the F-150 is America's top selling truck. I guess knowing that they'll still allow the gas cars around,
Yeah,
good,
until they break down all the way.
and they just won't repair them.
But here's
Oh,
another way they can
that's
incentivize it.
dirty. What?
They close down the gas stations.
That oh. But then what about the so then are the gas stations, man, I can't even say that. Just gonna change to charging stations? Like, will the owners of the gas stations now become owners of a charging
Who
station?
knows? California
Because
California can do a bunch of weird, crazy things in the
that
future.
I don't like, how are you about to just rip someone of their, place of work like that?
Well, they'll go
Potentially.
what they'll do is they'll go, "But we're not ripping it away from them. We're just providing them with a new opportunity to be able to expand their business to serve customers as they evolve their taste in vehicles away from the barbaric gas guzzlers that they once had to the
Ugh.
now futuristic utopian electric vehicles."
Mm.
Come on. You have people in the middle of a heat wave, um,
Mm.
Newsom over in California, wearing a
Mhm.
sweater to say, "Everyone, you can put your thermostats higher." And I remember reading
As
it, and I just wanted to sit there and be like, would you please show your thermostat in your mansion, please?"
yeah, for real.
And remember, this is the same guy that closed down, California and is like lockdowns during COVID. and then was caught at a diner with a bunch of his
Oh, yeah.
friends.
Yeah, it's the very rules for thee, not for me
Exactly.
kind of person.
I mean, so like I said, California's already facing those rolling blackouts. Can you imagine replace all those gas guzzlers with electric vehicles? How much more that is going to strain the grid?
Oh, right. Yeah. And that's, like, one thing I never thought about until, I don't know, I guess however many months ago it was when good old Mr. Brewer was talking to me about that kinda stuff. I was like, "Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, there's a lot more into this than I ever thought there was
Yeah.
for getting this whole electric car stuff." It's
Well, so there's that, right? That's just the electric grid side of things.
Mhm.
All right. What about actually making these stupid things?
Yeah.
When I say stupid things, I mean the vehicles
Oh,
themselves, right?
yeah, and I know you were mentioning about the whole battery lithium battery stuffs and,
Yep.
uh,
So, yeah, that it will be an issue even recently with all these things going on. And I'm not a stock advisor. I don't give financial advice or whatever, but the American companies that are on the stock markets that deal with lithium, their prices have just been going up, 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 up. So,
oh, for sure.
because who's one now? Here's the funny part about this whole thing. Who's one of the largest suppliers of lithium in the world?
I'm gonna guess China.
Yep. They have a lot of lithium mines that supply the rest of the world with lithium that is necessary for these lithium ion batteries. Now, that being said, there are other technologies such as hydrogen being researched. There's other methodologies of making batteries that don't rely on as much or lithium at all, but those are still going to be a little ways away from mass production.
Dude,
E-
you know how cool it would be if we just went back to the horse and buggy times?
No, no. Could you imagine going through somewhere like downtown Milwaukee with horse and buggy and all the horses just crapping everywhere?
You get used to it.
No, no,
It can't be worse than somebody's dog that we know.
no, it would definitely be worse because 'cause it'd be
You
as big
think
as the
so?
dog
I suppose. Um,
and just as smelly.
eh, potentially. I don't know. See, I was always one of those kids that even though I never lived on a farm, I always kind of enjoyed the farm smell. But I guess it's been a hit or miss. Sometimes I'm like, "Oh, that's gross," but then there's sometimes like, farmland, nice." At some point, I feel like we're gonna basically have to go back there.
You know,
Potentially, who knows? I
yeah,
don't know.
there was a I don't remember the name of the TV show now, but there was a TV show at one point that I watched for a couple seasons, and essentially the concept of the show was the entire electric grid in the world went out at once,
Mm,
and what happens then with society?
chaos.
Yeah, essentially chaos. You know, for in the whole first season is you just seeing people survive in that, and then I think it was like the second season they started going, "Oh, someone's actually manipulating it, they can turn the grid on and off at will and in certain parts and all this other stuff." And what happens when all of a sudden the grid comes back online when everyone is gotten used to no electricity whatsoever? What do you do? You know, batteries are starting to run out of the in the world, like people were running out of batteries. And, you know, they're very limited use. You're basically doing candle lights for everything.
Yay. I'd be okay with that.
No.
I
So,
like my candle lit.
I know you like your candles, but it no, it's very inefficient for candles.
What do you mean it's inefficient? You only need to see as far as the candle needs to show you anyway. It's
Have you
fine.
ever tried to read by candlelight, actually?
Yeah,
It's actually annoying.
I love it.
You were born in the wrong century.
Yes, I was.
You need to be born in the century where it's candlelight only with no rock music.
Okay, you had me for a little bit there, but
Yeah, no
I
electricity means you would lose all of that music as well, probably.
now the drums just be guitar.
Yeah, you could have the drums. Wow, good. We're gonna go back to tribal drum music.
Hey man, that sounds kind of cool. I mean, you can if you can probably make something on an acoustic guitar, make it sound kind of fuzzy and nasty, so then you could still get a rock guitar
with
sound
no
out of
power
it.
at all?
Yeah. It's like rem okay, as a kid, did you rode a bicycle.
Yeah.
Did you ever put the card on the frame of the bike so it'd be, like, in the spokes of the wheels?
No.
No! You
No.
never did that? So it'd sound like like, I guess, a motorcycle or whatever, it'd just be a brrrr. And it
Can
sounded
honestly say
so
I've never done that.
oh, man. Or that or is the it was you'd take a soda can and then run it over with your tire, and then it would get caught in the frame, and it'd just sit there and whine and make a nasty sound. It would sound like, ugh,
Again, nope.
oh, man. Yeah, so I wanna go do that right now.
You you wanna go do that right now in the rain.
Sure, it's fine. Maybe the rain will give it a new sound to it, just change it up a little bit. But
Nope, 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 leave that one alone.
but, no, I mean, I'd be okay with no electricity for a little bit, I think. I think I'd be okay with it.
Well, who knows? We might get there, when World War III or the next Civil War happens. They'll cut the power grid as one of the first things as part of the attack system. But yeah, so lithium ion though,
All my money's gone.
yeah, all your money's gone. All your money's control is stored in databases. No one has any physical money anymore.
Freak.
Yeah, I know. So this article, this is from Reuters. So I don't have to run this through NewsGuard because Reuters is one of the more trusted news sources out there,
Roida.
right?
Alright.
This was
Alright.
from January of this year. So they don't have an estimated update yet at this point. Okay. But in January, they're expecting the price in June to jump up to $20,000 a ton. That would have been up 80% from December of 2021 in price due to their forecasted usage of lithium for batteries and uh, electric vehicles and that going forward.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Like, are they running out of the material for it? Or are they, "Oh, we know this is, desired right now, so we're just gonna jack the price up on it."
Um, in a way, yes. It's not that so much that they're running out per se. It's just the mines that are currently out there are at capacity.
Okay.
At 2017, they were already saying, "Oh, it's at a record 12,000 per ton."
Nope, not anymore. We're making records all the time now on just how expensive stuff is.
So the graph I have is showing the year price increase of lithium
Yeah.
year over year. So remember in January they're predicting it'd go up to 20,000 per ton, right? The
Yeah.
current price is $71,535 per ton.
I think it went up a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Oh my gosh.
And you saw some of this as well, and some of this could be price gouging. Um, and because someone else pointed this out. So remember, well, I don't know. You might not remember because I know you.
Yeah,
You
nope.
might not paid attention well enough. There was recently I forget what they called the bill, but essentially it was the bill that they said that they're passing to help with inflation. And
Okay.
as part of that bill, there was like a credit in there if you bought an electric vehicle, it was like 8,000 something dollars. And basically overnight, a lot of electric vehicles started going up in value, up in price by about $8,000 to
What?
compensate for that credit. All of a sudden, vehicles will go up in value. It's like, oh, now not like Tesla, I don't think did it, but there were other electric vehicle companies that were just overnight raising their prices just out of nowhere within days of the wonderful bill passing. Because guess what? They know for the consumer, the price hasn't gone up, but they get more money because they get that $8,000 from the government essentially. So yeah, between lithium prices going up and you know how they do you know how they get lithium out of things?
I don't.
So it depends what area you go to. So like again, according to Reuters here, in China, they get it out of salt mines.
Okay.
So like out of where not mines, salt lakes.
Salt Lakes.
Yeah. So places like Australia, they do it from hard rock mines. So they don't do it like the salt lake that you have over in China and other countries. So yeah, that's going to be entertaining to watch as that goes up because like everything else in the world, that we mine, there's only so much that go that,
It's a
that exists,
finite. Yeah.
which means then we'll have to recover a bunch of that from batteries and as much as possible from used batteries. Then you have all the electronic waste that comes as a result of a car. You have a lithium fire. This is the part that boggles my mind, and it's going to be the annoying part going forward in future. Lithium fires, those things are nasty. Have you
Yeah.
ever seen
I've
one?
never I mean, I've seen the video, it wasn't a bad one, but
Yeah, but what you probably seen is maybe like a laptop. Can you imagine your car
no,
battery?
that would be
That's the one thing I even think about is like if I ever get into a car crash, the entire back seat of my car is a battery, is a lithium ion battery.
mhm.
That fire would just be, and you can't put it out with normal means. You have to use special
Yeah, I
chemicals
say
to put it out.
they're gonna I mean, you're gonna have to get, like, firefighters with all the special stuff to just put them out
Yeah.
because you can't just throw water at it.
The things that people don't think of, and look over, and right now, we're like I said, California's in that middle of the heat wave and everything, right? E Overseas in Europe, they're kind of a little bit further along on the green journey than we are. They're trying to go all solar,
Mhm.
all wind and everything, but even them, they're starting to turn back some things back on. Like France is turning all their nuclear plants back on for the winter because of power, because obviously there's also a shortage of gas and oil coming out of, Russia that a lot of Europe relies on.
Mhm.
Germany is looking at powering their nuclear reactors back on because of they're not getting enough power through just solar and wind alone. And
That should be a little, lesson
yeah, what's the lesson?
for us not to try and do this. At least solely rely on that kinda stuff.
Well, because like right now, okay, today there'd be zero solar output here in Southeast Wisconsin.
Yeah, yeah.
There might be some wind output, but not enough for us to survive on.
No.
These lights would be flickering on and off. It'd look like you're having a little rave down here.
That'd be kinda fun then.
It'd be fun until, like, something blows up because it's powering on and off all the time.
Yeah, forget about playing games.
Yeah, forget about playing games, being on your chats, charging your phone, doing all that fun stuff.
I mean, you can still charge your phone.
Now if it's cycling on and off rapidly,
Really?
it's not gonna be able to maintain enough current to charge it.
Oh.
So, yeah, so you have European countries that are like, "Nope, we're going all solar, we're going all wind," and now they're like, we're gonna turn some of this back on." In fact, because of the whole thing with Russia and Ukraine right now, and because Russia supplied a lot of fuel to Europe, like natural gas and that,
Yeah,
and
right.
they go, "Oh, natural gas, it's so clean, it's so natural." Well, depending on how you do it, yes, it can be very clean. But because of that interruption from Russia, they're actually turning some of their coal plants back on as well.
Mm.
So they're turning coal back on, they're turning nuclear back on, they're
Whatever it takes to get that power going.
and I just sit here going, and Greta would be, you know, throwing a hissy fit right now about why are you turning the coal and the nuclear back on, which the nuclear one I don't get. Nuclear is pretty clean actually. So I don't understand why people want to get rid of that.
Mhm.
We should probably make just a few more nuclear reactors, put them all in California and call it a day. What?
It's isn't it is just the biggest thing for nuclear is if, like, oh, like, if something were to go wrong, it would just be the damages would be super bad,
Potentially, but I mean,
potentially.
we haven't had a
We're
Chernobyl like thing in
Right.
and
But is
forever.
that the biggest worry with it?
Well, there's
Or
that, plus there's also the waste afterwards, that you have to store it,
oh.
because that is nuclear waste afterwards that you then have to store, you have to maintain and make sure, like, you know, rainwater doesn't get into that storage area, get contaminated, and flow into, groundwater.
Mhm.
So there are a couple of concerns, don't get me wrong, there are a couple things that go along with it, but at the same time, it's like, compared to the alternatives that we have, it's pretty reliable, A, and B, it's pretty safe.
Hmm.
I mean, look at all these essentially, our own military has a bunch of subs running around with nuclear reactors in them,
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
so they're not, huge and powerful. They're not going to, blow up an entire continent if something goes wrong with them. But still, we're trusting people to be within confined quarters
Oh,
underwater
yeah.
with a nuclear reactor.
Yeah, it's kinda wild.
As long as you don't build a nuclear reactor on like a fault line, you're pretty good.
Hmm.
You put it on a fault line, you're inviting trouble with an earthquake or something like that happens. But you put it somewhere that's pretty stable, like the Midwest, we're
Hmm.
pretty good. Like I said, go ahead and put them in California. I don't care. It, that they'll need it for all their electric vehicles and
Bye
all that.
bye.
And I don't care if they fall in the ocean. To be honest,
But the people. Well,
what
some of them.
people? What
I don't want them to fall in the ocean. Not all of them, I'm sure. No, I don't want any. That'd be so what if
what?
I'm just imagining, like, if that day actually happens where California just breaks off and starts sinking. That'd be horrifying.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't even wanna think about that. I'm not going to anymore. But, I mean, what is it too, though, with because I feel like it's because of California is, like, a reason why, like, the US it's like California is kind of like the, standard for cars to be able to be sold into the US
Okay. Well,
kinda thing. How does
so here's the deal with that.
Mhm.
There, besides, so we have the Clean Air Act in the United
Mhm.
States, right? The Clean Air Act states either you follow our rules, or because Californians are more strict, you follow California's rules.
Mm.
There are 17 states outside of California that follow California's strict rules.
Hmm.
So now it's not so much that they have to meet those rules to be sold in the US. It's they have to meet the United States clean air standards
Right.
to be sold in the US. But in those 17 states that are part of that rule following, they then have to follow those
Whatever
rules
California
California
allows.
sets. Now, that creates a little prickly thing for those 17 states that are following California's rules, because technically, unless they decide to change their rules to follow the national law instead,
They're gonna have to do the electric car thing.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
that includes a state that's real close to us,
Mm.
Minnesota.
Oh, okay. Minnesota.
Yep.
Hmm.
Pennsylvania as well.
No, not Pennsylvania.
So there's Washington, Massachusetts, however you say that.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, New York, Oregon, Vermont. They are expected to adopt that wholesale.
Mm,
Colorado and Pennsylvania are on the list.
mm,
Minnesota is also there. I think there's also there's a couple other states beyond that. Oregon is on there as well. So it's going to be entertaining to watch now, because this is going to have cascading impact on all these other states.
hmm. Yeah, I don't like California.
Yep, and California is the reason why we have things that are labeled like, I don't know if you've ever read the warnings, like, "This contains this chemical, which under California law, blah, 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 is known to cause birth defects, da, 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 da,
Hmm.
da, da." or whatever it is known to cause death, is known to cause cancer, whatever, because
Mhm.
California says it's a suspected thing that may contribute to that thing, and so they have to label it as such, even though it's not sold in California, because it's sold in the US and it may end up in California, it has to be so labeled that.
Hmm.
But there are certain cars that you cannot get in California, period, whatsoever, because they don't meet their clean air standards, but you can get them in most other states.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so no, I remember I was watching some video about like some really cool cars that America never got, and I thought part of the reason was because of California.
It could be honestly
I
just
was
our
like,
main Clean Air Act law,
"Hmm,
and
that
there
sucks."
might be other reasons why too,
Yeah, there might be. Yeah, it probably is. I don't
such
remember
as,
the whole thing.
oh, they never made it so you could, that they made it so that it was a European car, so that way the steering wheel was always on the right-hand side instead of the
Oh,
left
for
hand.
well, I suppose. How does that work? I guess maybe unless you're super rich and can just buy it. But I was like, because I mean, people have right side driving cars here.
Yeah, there's special ways you can get them imported in and licensed and all that, and
I
registered.
hate it.
Guess what? I don't have enough money where I would want one of those cars to
Well, our
care
male
look.
vehicles are opposite.
That's because our mail carriers are weird. As this Inflation Reduction Act comes about more and more, people are able to go, "Oh, I get my $7,500 credit on a vehicle that's jacked up in price, almost 8,000." Uh, People can be like, "Oh, I can get an electric vehicle now," and
Yeah,
I as much as they are niceties, they are cool, they're silent, they accelerate fast, like,
they can. Yeah, I mean, compared to every normal, yeah,
as nice
gas
as they
powered
are,
car.
as nice as they are, one, I currently live in an apartment still, so guess what? Off the bat, that's a no-go. Getting an electric car. See,
Because of the charging,
yep,
I guess, right?
yeah,
Yeah, they'd have to accommodate for that if you had one of those, but they won't.
and I wanna see how that happens in California,
Yeah,
and yeah, their Hollywood celebrities are gonna be just fine.
yeah.
How is the everyday common person gonna be when they go, "Oh, I have to buy a new car. Okay, it has to be electric, and I have to buy a charging station for home, and my electric bill is gonna go up? Great."
Mhm.
Which then look back at, like, what Wisconsin has done. Are they gonna then start charging more on car registrations because they're not buying petroleum products and getting the gas tax for the roads like Wisconsin does?
Mm.
'Cause Wisconsin, 'cause I have a hybrid, I have to pay more on my registration because I don't buy enough gas through the year, so therefore, they're missing out on all this gas tax from me.
That's where I don't I hate the my goodness. I remember having, like, some sort of conversation with a friend about, "Oh, well, you're still gonna save money in the long run on an electric car versus gas car."
Yeah, not when the electric prices go up.
But, right, it's just, there's it's like a never ending thing where it's like, there's gonna be this, there's gonna be that, but then
Yeah.
they're, "Oh, well, but you'll be saving it."
I mean,
It's
currently,
like, we're all gonna be spending money.
right now, electricity is a lot cheaper than gas, but that's for early adopters. Once it becomes mainstream,
It's gonna be
you're gonna be paying more or same or more per fill up of your car.
it's so
And then as long as it's not during a rolling blackout or a brownout or the power's out due to a storm or yeah, if you had the option right now of Mr. Johnson
yeah,
of trading in your current vehicle for an electric F-150 with the
no,
same payments, no?
mm-mm,
Not
nope,
if it came with all the bells and whistles,
mm-mm.
and they said, "Free charger in your driveway." I
Uh,
love how that took a lot longer for him to think about once the charger was added in.
yeah, I mean, that's probably expensive. Actually, I don't know how much that would cost. Isn't it gonna cost more money for repairs on those electric vehicles
You know
if
what?
something goes wrong?
I have no idea yet.
Part of me can only imagine it being very expensive when stuff starts failing on on those, because something is gonna fail somewhere along the line, especially at the start.
For, like, a Tesla, right? If you
Mhm.
had to replace the entire motor, 5,500 to 7,500.
That's pricey.
What would it cost for your F-150 engine replacement?
Engine replacement?
Yeah, like your entire motor,
I don't know.
5,000 to 9,000. So it's about the same.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little cheaper on the higher end of the cost spectrum.
But then so that's just the part though.
That's just like the whole
That's the unit.
that's the whole motor. Like
Yeah, no,
you
no,
like
no. Yeah, yeah. I
some
get that, but that's not including labor.
right.
So I wonder what the process is for swapping out both of them. Which one? I mean, seeing there's so many freaking variables. I hate it. It's so annoying. Ugh. I'd rather just have an old car that's very basic and simple and that moves. Can't believe it, but I feel like I'm becoming more like you, Paul.
How's that?
If it gets me to A to B, I'm happy. I don't care about what it is. Nah.
Yeah, you know what? You know why? Getting closer to that magic age.
Yeah.
That magic age of 30.
Oh, jeez.
Congratulations, you're becoming an old curmudgeon.
No. Yeah. But, like, I just it'd be nice to just have something simple that you can do some work on your own and get by and not have to go to a dealership for every little thing on the car. But with these electric cars, that's what it's gonna be.
I say that's the future of every car.
Yeah.
Um, this gets
Mhm.
back that gets you into a whole other conversation of the great resets sort of deal, where it's you own nothing and you'll like it. You'll rent everything.
If and when that happens,
Okay.
and everything is just rented from everybody, like, everybody just gets to rent stuff.
You get to rent a house, you get to rent a computer, you get to rent a car,
How long can you rent it for at a time?
as long as you pay them a monthly fee.
Ugh, I don't know, I don't like it.
Because
I mean, I
then
guess it's like we're
because
all paying a monthly fee now, but then
because then if you break the EULA at any time, they can take it back from you. You're not breaking the law, you're breaking the EULA.
uh, that sounds dirty.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of things. That's what I said, that's a whole other conversation. Don't wanna have that one right now. But so I'm just in back, kinda looking around like I am glad my car is definitely not of the requires to be plugged in type. It's just it's
It's a
gas.
nice in-betweener.
Yeah, until I get into an accident and then the backseat goes up in flames and everyone inside of it is burnt to a crisp in an instant. And then, oh, that's a happy thought.
I'm never getting in the backseat of your vehicle.
You get
Won't
in the
do
back seat
it.
of the vehicle, I just flip a switch. Intentional. No. No, 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 no.
Suffer.
There's definitely safety things in place, to
Yeah,
prevent that
there's
sort of thing,
there's
but
gotta be.
yeah, they're not gonna let me drive around with I'm not gonna say that word. It starts with a B in my back seat. How do you get the attention of the FBI in one word? Hmm.
For creating the vehicles,
Mhm.
yeah, they do have to follow like safety measures.
Right.
I guess as long as they don't just it just makes me think of I believe it was the oh, I wanna say it was was it the Ford Pinto? I'm pretty sure it was the Ford Pinto.
Okay, but what about it while you look that up?
It's okay, yeah, it was. Um, like that car was one that was very bad if you got into an accident with, especially if you got rear-ended because the gas tank was in the back,
Hmm.
and once you get rear-ended, it was known for going up in flames. Like, obviously, there's places where you can fail on safety measures, or you'll have unfortunately have a bad a bad mistake where you didn't realize that. So I guess as we get into new territory like this kind of stuff, it's like I guess is what kind of guarantee is there that we usually talk about like this lithium battery fire. Like, what? How high or how low are those chances of that happening
And
if into an accident?
right now it's pretty low, but that's because we don't have a ton of all electric vehicles out there.
Hmm.
As that increases, we might see more of it.
Hmm.
But that's going to be an interesting thing to watch as time goes on. Time goes on.
Yeah, I guess I imagine we're doomed to make mistakes at some point and
Yeah,
switching to
but
all electric vehicles, and it's gonna suck when there's one vehicle out there that's like the Ford Pinto.
I mean, and we even have things like scooters and bicycles now that have lithium batteries on them all
Oh,
rolling around.
right.
There's this video here that I have pulled up.
The
So
way of
this
the.
article is from May 25th of this year.
Mhm.
It was in Canada. There was a driver who had to break a window to escape after his car shut down just while he's driving, just shut down and caught fire.
What?
The car
That's
lost power, locked him inside, and started to fill up with smoke.
it locked him inside?
Well, it had no power anymore.
Yeah. But so did he die?
So what's happening here is he's at the intersection and you just see this car just starting to fill up with smoke. The guy thankfully was able to break the window and get out, but I mean, it just fills up with smoke. And just as it goes on, the smoke gets more and more, and eventually you see flames starting to come out of the car.
And that's a lithium
Yeah.
battery fire.
And the firefighters have to treat it as such because of the fact that, you know, they don't know what part of the car is on fire yet. It could be just a standard electrical fire, or it could be a lithium fire, or it could,
Yeah.
depending on what it is. Um, yeah.
Oh.
And they also report exploding roadside mopeds to e-bike
Ooh.
batteries that catch fire while charging at home. Fires burning on cargo ships holding electric vehicles.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Great is the so here's one. The electric bike burst into flaking flames and smoke. So it's an
Oh.
elevator. Looks to be like in Asian country of some sort, probably Japan or stuff like that. Guy gets in, looks like more of a moped. All right. He's on it in the middle of the elevator because there's no other space anywhere else for him. Just him on top of the moped. And he's going in this elevator as you're hearing that ding ding ding.
Oh my gosh, that is really annoying.
Yeah, it is. But anyways, so we're almost to the point where
Oh no, we got another guy trapped in this thing.
he kind of and now
There's a fire.
The bike is now catching on fire. Just the elevator just instantly now filled with smoke, and it's just like we can't say anything else because now it's all smoke. But and now you see the flame.
Oh my!
They're in the elevator while the bike is going up in flames, and eventually they are able to get out at one point. But that white that you're seeing right there, that's a lithium fire, and it just envelops and devours that entire elevator now.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
I hope that's not. I guess I'm imagining it's not too common, but when it happens, that sucks.
The
Ooh.
probability of the fire happening is probably pretty low, but as these
Yeah.
start these
But
not
if this becomes more and more production and stuff, I mean,
yeah,
there's gonna be more of it
yeah,
to some degree.
yeah. So there's this website that they literally just have. It's a collection of videos of these things right here. So this one right
That's a
here,
bus.
a bus starting on fire, and you just see the explosion.
Ooh. Oh, that's a good one. Oh my goodness, that's a good
That's an
one.
electric bus.
Of course it is.
And this looks like you're watching
That's
a fireworks show.
nasty.
Like just all these
That looks disgusting.
yeah. Caused no injuries, but it probably cost a ton of money.
Wow, is a life not more valuable than a lot of money, Paul? Goodness.
Wow.
So concerned about the money it costs, but
So as like I said, as this gets more and more popular,
Yeah. No,
we're
it's
we're gonna see this more and more often, unfortunately. And
oh,
this person has less of a life than me because they've gone through and started cataloging from January of last year all the public fires that they could find that were lithium battery related.
wow.
Now, so to be fair,
To be fair.
there's only
Yeah.
116 entries in the list from January of last year to August of this year.
That's worldwide.
Yeah.
That ain't bad.
No, that's not bad, but still that's hmm, I really question some of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
8 fire engines and around 60 firefighters attended a blaze at a house in the UK involving an electric bike battery. E
just an electric bike battery.
8 fire engines, 60 firefighters for 1 electric bike battery.
That's a lot.
So if you wanna be depressed a little bit about our electric vehicle future, come here
Yeah.
and be saddened on so many levels.
Hmm.
Now, if you think about it,
Uh,
sitting here at this desk right now, 1, 2, 3 lithium batteries,
yeah.
4.
But at least they're small.
Even small ones can catch fire.
Well, I know they can
R
catch
r
fire, but I mean, I'm not.
remember, what was it, the Note 9 or Note 10?
Isn't that like exploding?
Yeah, the exploding battery.
Yeah. Yeah. Thought, yeah, yeah. Because that's wait.
That was a lithium battery.
Yeah. Or I thought I remember hearing something about Samsung's having that issue too.
Well, the Note
But the
is
Note is Samsung.
yeah,
But I thought I heard about for like the Galaxy or whatever.
it was a Samsung Galaxy Note. That was a Note 7. That was all the
The
way back to Note
Note
7.
7.
I couldn't remember which one it was. I was like, was it the 9? Was it 10? It was the 7.
So what is mine's just the
So the whole
ooh,
yeah,
you're dirty.
they tried doing a whole different type of battery, like a little more flexible lithium ion battery,
Yeah.
and that's what caused, well, the issue.
Wow.
So yeah, battery defects caused many Note 7 units to overheat and combust or explode.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, at least if these started to go off, we can just throw them in the fireplace.
So
These will be a little bit more containable than a freaking car.
would they be though? Would they? Would they?
Yeah,
Okay.
I certainly hope so.
That was crazy that when that was happening. I remember because I remember that I was going on a flight at a time and they had signs saying, if you have this phone, you cannot bring it on board
That's nuts.
just because of,
That risk.
yep. There were multiple carriers that, for people who refused for whatever reason to turn in the phone, even knowing it could explode. There were carriers that started disabling the phone so that way it couldn't access their network at all, even. To force those people to say, "Hey, oh yeah, you gotta turn this in and get it replaced."
Wow.
Because there are people who are dumb and die hard and said, "No, I like it so much that I'm gonna keep it." Later on that year, or was it later that year or early next year, they basically took all the phones that were returned, swapped out the batteries so that they wouldn't explode, and then resold them. Replacing any components that were damaged
Yeah.
or anything like that.
That's
They're like, "Oh, it's the Note Fan Edition," because everyone wanted it.
gosh, it's ridiculous.
To be fair, that tradition has continued to this day
Oh, for
where
sure.
so,
Okay.
like, the S22, right?
Mhm.
They might not do it this year, but, like, last year, so they had the S21 Ultra, and all that. That was sold in January. In December, they then sold the S21 Fan Edition,
No way. That's funny.
essentially just to get rid of all the leftover stock of things that they had. But, yeah, we've been going down this route for electric vehicles for a while now. I know it's
Yeah.
kinda been everyone's dream, but
I mean,
I'm fine with electric things like phones and watches and, other things like that, laptop batteries. They're small, they're contained. They're not an entire back seat.
as of now, which I'll never be able to afford, the only electric vehicle I'd ever wanna get, as of right now, is the yeah.
Say it 5 times fast.
I
I dare you. Say it 5 times fast.
Pin gosh, I don't know if this is how it's pronounced, but it is the Pininfarina Batista. Pininfarina Pinin Pininfarina Batista.
3 more times.
No.